Today I'm taking a look at an indie-developed game called Chiaroscuro. This is a game that takes place in a world where 95% of the population has lost either part of their memory or all of their memory entirely. You take on the role of Rose. This is another amnesiac person, but they are actually going to be going on a quest to find something called the lights. The lights are a magical item that, according to legend, can actually repair the memory and restore them to people who have lost them. This game is a Metroidvania style game. And what that means for anyone who somehow does not know is that it's got fairly non-linear gameplay and it is going to be open to exploration. Metroidvania games were some of the first open world games in a way. Granted, they're 2D and there is like a path that you're going on, but you can freely explore it. Within this game, like the others in the genre, you're going to be able to explore up, down, left, right. You're going to be going in and out of doors that are going to take you to new areas. There is a map that you will eventually get that will help you see how crazy the layout is. And it's definitely just a very fun and interesting style of game. One thing that people newer to this genre may notice is that this game is kind of reminiscent of another called Hollow Knight. And there is a reason for that. The developer actually mentions Hollow Knight as one of the main inspirations for why they decided to start making video games. And that, to me, is fantastic. Anytime that someone loves something so much, they decide that they want to try and do it as well, I think that's definitely a plus for the entire industry. With Chiaroscuro, one thing that it definitely nails is the mechanics. I played roughly about 30-40 minutes of the demo, which, pause, that surprised me in and of itself. I was not going in expecting to have that much gameplay out of the demo. I'm used to the era of getting your Game Informer in the mail, popping out your demo disc and throwing it into your PlayStation, and you get like 5 minutes of a game. And then there's one big game that you get a little bit of extra time with, but it's just one level. Chiaroscuro's demo, though, I'm going to have to play it again more after this because I'm curious to see exactly how far it goes. Like I said, though, I put in about 40 minutes of it. And one of the things that impressed me immediately was the cohesive visuals of the game. Everything about the game was perfectly on point to the style, which was very nice. The second thing that stood out to me pretty much instantly was the crispness of the controls. One thing for anyone who doesn't know, or definitely for those who do know, when it comes to Metroidvania style games, there's a lot of platforming. There's usually some kind of like wall skipping abilities. You know, there's dashes, not to mention all the attacks. And the enemies can be, especially the bosses, can be a giant pain in the butt. And because of that, you need your controls to be extra responsive and to do exactly what you want them to do every single time. And from what I saw in this demo, it did it. It was very nice. The parts that I played in, none of the enemies were doing anything necessarily super crazy, and most of the time that I got hurt and died, it was actually my own fault more than it was anything else. I was really satisfied with the responsiveness of the controls. It tells me that whenever you get later into the game and there are going to be enemies with more interesting patterns to them or bosses that are multi-staged, that they'll be challenging, but you won't have to deal with some kind of broken mechanic and be unable to defeat a boss just because your character won't do what they're supposed to do when they're supposed to do it. That's definitely a big problem with some games. Based on what I'm seeing in this demo, Chiaroscuro is not going to be one of those. Something else that really surprised me was the music of the game. At first, when I very first got into the demo, the music was somewhat laid back. It definitely fit the tone that they were going for, but I wasn't really too aware of it. And then at one point when I started to get my first steps into the story, when I started to learn about how I don't have my memories, I started to learn a little bit about my past, getting to see a vision of my character Rose's past. The music came out of nowhere and picked up, and it was really good. The music was definitely amazing. and it fits the tone of the game and the world perfectly from what I can tell. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what the full OST looks like whenever this game comes into full release, because I have a feeling it's going to be a very memorable one. Based on what I've seen so far with the actual gameplay, putting aside just the crispness of it and how smoothly it did work, this game seems like it's probably going to follow your typical Metroidvania format, in that when you first start the game, you're going to have your basic sword attack, or in this case, Thorn, and you're going to use that for a little while, and then you're going to uncover an ability, and that ability not only will help you in combat, but it will probably also help you reach new areas that you previously weren't able to get into. This is a classic of the genre, and it's one of the reasons why people love it so much. You aren't told where you can go in this kind of game, and based on what I saw in this demo, that's how it's going to be with this one as well. You're not so much told where you can go, you just kind of figure it out when you hit a dead end. And then you backtrack a little bit, and if you do that, you'll stumble across something new, and you'll be like, oh wait, this is the thing I needed. Now that I can do this thing, I can go back and get out of here and do this. And it's a really wonderful style of game. I don't think I need to harp too much on Metroidvania games. I mean, they've been around for a while now, and I'm pretty sure that people know what they're about. Based off of what I've been able to see with the Chiaroscuro demo, I think this is going to be a wonderful Metroidvania game once it's in full release. The story of it, I have a feeling, is probably going to pluck at the heartstrings a little bit. That's just generally how it goes with stories involving lost memories. I'm interested to see the entire soundtrack of the game. Based off what I saw so far, it sounds absolutely amazing. And I think that if they can take the controls and the smoothness of the action that was present in the demo and extend it out to their full game upon release, it's going to be a joy to play. I don't see any reason why it wouldn't be just a fun game for anyone who enjoys Metroidvanias. If you're interested in checking out Chiaroscuro, the demo is available on Steam. I'll also throw a link in the description below to the information for the game. I personally think, based off of what I've seen here, if you're a Metroidvania person, this might be worth paying attention to and possibly even supporting if you feel so inclined. Thank you for watching the video, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.